Hey guys, in the last video I showed you how to create a menu and how to add pages to that menu. Now what I want to do is I want to show you how to create a widget location in the theme. So we're going to have one widget location, and that's going to be in the sidebar. Okay, so let's take a look at index.php, and we have this div here with the class of main. This basically wraps around the whole thing here. So what we want to do is we want to go right after the main, the ending div, and we're going to create a div with the class of sidebar. Alright, and then what we'll do here is let's just say test. Okay, so that shows up down here. Now we want to float the main div and set a width, and then have the sidebar float to the right. So let's go to the style sheet, and I don't think oh yeah, we do have main right here. Margin 15 pixels, top and bottom, that's fine. Let's go ahead and float this to the left, and let's set a width of 68%. Alright, let's see what that gives us. Alright, so the reason that this looks really weird is because we didn't clear the float. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go under the sidebar here and say div class CLR. Alright, and then we'll go in our CSS. And did I already do that? No, I didn't. So we're going to add a class called CLR, and we're just going to say clear both. Alright, and then let's add the sidebar class, and that's going to float to the right, and we'll set a width of 28%. Alright, now let's see, we're going to want to put a container around both of these. Alright, because right now main has a container inside of it, but what we want is to remove that and put that above main, and then end down here. Alright, let's try that. There we go. Okay, so now we have the main area and we have a sidebar. So over here we're going to want to be able to put widgets. So we're going to go to functions PHP, and we need to make it so that we actually can use widgets, and we want to define what location we want the widgets to be allowed. So we're going to go down at the very bottom here, and let's create a function. We're going to call it init widgets, and that's going to take in an ID, and we're going to say register sidebar. Now we are going to be creating a sidebar widget, but just know that no matter where you put it, register sidebar is the function that we'll use. Alright, even if it's not a sidebar, even if it's down below or in the header, wherever it may be, this is what's used to actually register widget locations. Okay, that's going to take in an array, and it's going to take a name, set that to sidebar, and then the ID, which is usually the same, just lowercase and no spaces. Usually use hyphens if there's more than one word. Alright, and then we can also use before widget. So maybe you want a div, we'll say div class side widget, and then we can do after widget. Actually no, yeah, this should be an underscore. So after widget, that's going to be the ending div. And then we can also do before and after title of the widget. Okay, so we want an H3 before the title. All right. Now this isn't going to run yet. We need to do add action. And the hook we want is called widgets init. And then we want to put in our function name, which is init widgets. Okay, we'll save that. Now if we go and reload, now we have this widgets item on the side. And we have a sidebar location. So let's take the categories widget, bring that over. Okay, we can also bring, let's say, recent posts. We'll bring that over. Save, and then if we go to the front end, if we reload now, we're not going to see anything because we need to add it to our template. So let's go down to where we have the sidebar. And we're going to first check for the widget. So let's say PHP if okay, so what we're checking is going to be a function called isActiveSidebar. And like I said before, even if it's not a sidebar, this is still going to work. Now the location goes in here, and our location happens to be sidebar. Alright, and then we're just going to put here dynamic underscore sidebar. And then the ID of the widget, again, is sidebar. Alright, let's save it, reload, and there we go. There's our two widgets, the categories and the recent posts. Now remember we put the class side widget right here, so we can style these using that. If we say side widget, and let's do border we'll add padding, let's say 10-10. And let's do margin bottom. So now if we go and reload, now you can see they have a border. Let's do a margin top too. We'll say margin top 20 pixels. And there we go. If we wanted to make this look a little better, we could say side widget li, list style none. We could do line height 2.2 em. We could do border bottom. Actually, let's do dotted. And then for the links, we'll take away the text decoration, save and reload. Alright, so that looks good. Now for the pages, those are going to be messed up. Okay, if we go to the page, you can see that this is all messed up, and that's because in page PHP we still have the container inside of main. Alright, so what we want to do is we kind of want to just copy what we did in index PHP. Alright, we want the sidebar to go right after main and the clear. Okay, main ends here, so we want this to go there, and then container, we actually want to take that out, put that above main. Okay, make sure that we take the ending div and put that on the outside down here. Okay. And let's go ahead and check that out. Okay, so that looks good. Single PHP, we're also going to have to do that if we look at a single post. So let's go there, do the same thing. We're going to want this to go right after the main, and then we want the container on the outside. Okay, we'll take the div here, put that down here. And that should do it. There we go. Alright, so all the different formats, all the different pages are all set. They have the sidebar implemented. And of course, if you didn't want the sidebar on one of those, you don't have to. But since we are, if we want to kind of minimize the code a little bit, what we could do is put this right here inside the footer. So if we say cut, save, and then in the footer .php we add that to the top, save, and then go into page PHP, get rid of that because it's now in the footer. Same thing with index PHP, we'll get rid of that, and it should look the exact same. Alright. Alright, so that's good. That's widgets. Now the one thing that I want to do, the one thing left is comments. Okay, we want comment functionality. So this is actually really easy. All we have to do is go to our single.php, go where we want the comment, which is going to be right under the end if here, and we can just say PHP comments template, save, reload, and now we have comment functionality. So let's say great post comment, and there it is, great post. It has an avatar, it has the username, the date, and also a reply link. Alright, now I realize this doesn't look like the best comment section you've ever seen, but that's just because it's the default design. If we take a look at the markup, okay, you can see the markup, they separate everything so you can style. We have an OL comment list. Each LI has a class of comment. We have classes around the author, around the vCard, around the reply. Alright, so you can style this however you'd like. Now, you can actually replace this whole template by creating a comments.php file. And I'm going to get into that later on. I don't want to do it in this video because this is just pretty much just a very basic introductory theme. So the comments are working. I'm not going to go ahead and create a custom comment template or anything like that. Alright, so I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, there's more we could do. We could create a separate template for archived posts. Actually, you know what I want to do real quick is the author. We have the author's name right here. I want to make that a link, and you can click on it and then see all of the author's posts. Alright, so let's go to index.php and go to where we have the author right here. And we're just going to add a link around that. Alright, and then in here we're just going to open up PHP and we're going to say get author posts URL, and then in here we want to pass in another function called get the author meta, and we want the ID, so we're going to pass in ID. Alright, we'll save that. Let's reload. And now admin is now a link, which I need to change the style because we can't see it. So let's go to meta, put an A tag, and that's going to be color. That's going to be white. Alright, so if I click admin, now that shows us all the posts by admin, which are all of them, but if there were multiple users, multiple authors, that would allow us to see all the posts from that particular author. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Now, I realize this isn't the greatest design you've ever seen, but the point of this project was to get you familiar with not just the code, but also the structure of the theme, what files are included. As you saw, there's certain names that we need for the files, such as page and single.php. So hopefully you enjoyed this. We'll be using what you've learned in this project, and we'll be applying it in future projects, and we'll also learn more as we go. Alright, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next project.